Hi everyone, we're just about to be live with TODD Medina, so we're going to go ahead and stream this on our end while we're going to be on TODD too. So let's see how this goes. One moment, please. Thank you. So now here we go. Let's see. Acknowledge. Connecting camera. Allow. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, it worked. Hi, Todd.
Hola,
What are you doing?
Hola, darling. It worked. Perfect. Can you hear us well, Todd?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
We can hear you so well. And I understand we're going to join with Morgan. My goodness.
Yes. She's
So
coming.
honored. So honored. Look, there's that split, Michael, look, there's that split screen again.
Yeah.
See, that's a dimensional field. Todd, so good to see you.
Good to see y'all.
Yeah,
Very
you
good to
look
see y'all.
good. You look like you're rejuvenated, dear. You came back from the other side.
Yeah, I tend to go there every couple of days.
Hello, Morgan.
Hi, beautiful Morgan.
Hello.
Hi,
See.
sweetheart. Finally, it's so wonderful to see you. Yay. I was so wishing for this. I was like, please let it be the four of us.
Well, I'm blaming you because yesterday I heard a really loud message that I was to come on.
Yes.
It made no sense. I've been shaking for the last hour and I feel like I've got nothing to say, so I don't even know what I'm doing here. So it must be all your fault.
We'll take that with nice love and blessings. So good to see you.
It's too exciting, Morgan. And I always feel, sometimes when we come together, it has nothing to do with us because it's this frequency that has to come together because it is a field of inspiration for many others. We're serving so much bigger than this. Just our union brings hope, brings faith, brings trust to others, and they need it. They need to remember that this does exist and it is possible and it's beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michael, you should be over here surfing the waves.
Oh my goodness, I tell you, we got a foot of snow on the ground over here, Todd. They're pretty big right now, aren't they? Are they huge right now? Because it's wintertime in Kauai, right?
Yeah, I don't even know. I've seen some big ones. I went down a couple of days ago and there was I thought it was a geyser.
Yeah.
It was like a geyser, but the waves were so big in one place it was shooting up.
Yeah.
I think it was on I don't know what they called it, where it flattens out and it hits something and it goes straight up.
I don't touch those waves. Those waves are a bit big for me, Todd. I usually do waves that are a bit more like, shoulder to head high. Anything above 2 stories, 3 stories, I tend to back off because Hawaii has...
I haven't seen those. I think those are on Oahu. That's where they have the championships and all that. I see them on TV, when you go into a restaurant or a bar, they have it on the TV.
Yeah.
They're huge, though. They're absolutely huge. The place over here where we're at, they're not big. People don't even go into the little tunnel thing. They stand up and ride.
Nice.
But on the other side, you see them ride all the way in. It's pretty cool.
Beautiful.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm going to take a picture of us real quick. Michael, come here. We're going to do a little selfie right here. 1 second selfie. Morgan, I want to see that beautiful smile. And your background is wonderful.
You guys,
it looks
beautiful
wonderful.
With the flowers.
It looks wonderful back there.
Yeah, from the garden. There's so many beautiful flowers here. So the other day I thought, God needs something behind him.
It's so
And
nice.
sorry, the cat was going crazy over there. I just went and gave it some biscuits and it knocked me over.
We're live now.
All right.
I'm going to make sure everything's cool and let people come in. Let's make sure the sound's all right.
Right. Is the sound okay on this end?
Yes, the sound's good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no reverb, so we're good. We're all good. Let me see. Hang on.
Wonderful.
Okay. I'm just going to go in and check the tech, and then we'll roll the show out. We got 5 people already in the house. Let's see here. Atlanta Starbuck, Diane McLaughlin, 2 other people, 8 people. Let me check the sound. Okay, so we're good. There. Christina Peels, long time no see. Ingeborg Bang from Norway. Old friend Sue Patty. Shanna Karana. Christine Baluba. Pat Freeland. Ali Ray. All right, we got more people coming in. We got a special show today, somewhat of a reunion. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Raquel Trevino's here. We had a good show with her the other day. Sherry Winning from Ontario, Canada. So let me go ahead and roll this show out. This is Soul Speaks 5D. This is a special edition reunion with Honey Borden and Michael Abramson, Morgan Lee, and I'm TODD MEDINA. If these shows resonate, please share. We do appreciate all the continued love, support, and contributions as we continue to expand this, adding frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration, which is our little corner of the universe where we're trying to mirror the universe, perfecting ourselves and the space that we all share together. Thank you, Michael and Honey and Morgan, for coming on today and sharing space, honoring us all with your presence. How are y'all today?
We're doing we're very excited. We're excited to be on the show with you, Todd. It's always a gift. We just come together and just share the energy that comes between us. And I feel today's even a bigger one because the 4 of us get to be in energy fields. So it's nice to have this beautiful little vortex of energy come between all of us and share what arises. So thank you, Todd.
Yeah. And I love it too because we never know what we're going to talk about. But I know you guys, we talked when you guys went to Europe and had a fascinating journey. I got to see you guys at the 1000 Goddess Gathering in Washington, D.C. when I got the message to come to Kauai. Yeah. Which was very scary as everything we're doing now, stepping into the unknown. I know you guys have some travel plans coming. But, there's been a whole lot of stuff going on, really since the solstice and certainly since January 1st. You see it, everybody posting it, putting their raw authenticity out there. All these things they're going through, a lot of physical ascension, symptoms and consequences of the energies coming down. How has it been for you guys?
Well, I first want to say thank you because I'm so giddy to share the 2019 New Year frequency in this month of January, starting it out this way, and also just the 4 of us. I feel it's one step closer now to being in physical form, all 4 of us together. So I really look forward to that. And I feel there's this incredible, exciting, blissful energy that Michael and I are riding because it feels like we're finally on the other side of the mountain, if you want to call it. This uphill mountain that we've been going for years, we're finally on the other side of it. And we went through all of that physical stuff right after came back. Mine was the day after, as you know, the 1000 Goddess Gathering. As we came back from Morocco, Michael got sick there, but sick with a lot of upgrades. And mine was 3 weeks of just brutal with the fevers and all of that. So, and I knew that was coming up, the wave was coming up for others. So I'm not surprised what you 2 went through, as all of us are going through it. I just feel like we've been out of that. Now we've been embracing, especially the plasma rays. It's been so joyful. It's been so beautiful. It's been so giddy, just giddiness of the lightness of it. Finally, this triple flame of this 2019. Michael and I were very blessed to be able to facilitate a New Year's Day event, which is all around the co-creation energy of the higher vision. So imagine in Washington, D.C., we had 27 participants that came. They all have their higher vision for the new humanity and new earth. And we came all together in that place and cleared the energetic fields through the language of light and codes of light. And then we all did a ceremony with each of our vision for the new ways on earth. So we've been writing this, and it's just incredibly ecstatic, loving unity, and the message of this 2019, which is about the innocence and the little child, has really been it's been very highlighted with us. So we're just experiencing it quite a bit.
Playful. We feel, as you guys probably realize, that 2018, I mean, was like a humdinger. I mean, it seems like everything that could come up to be transformed, and now coming to 2019, it feels lighter. I don't know how you guys feel. I know you guys went through a lot, but it seems like the shift is continuing, but somehow we feel this playful, excited, joyful energy, and not being kicked around as much. I felt like, December kicked the heck out of us. I mean, we really thrown around.
That's an understatement. That was an understatement.
Yeah, and it feels so nice. It's like consciously, there's this incredible, I feel like out of all the years, in 2012 I felt this, and it's been another 6 years to feel this incredible divine unity amongst the bringers of light, and truly feeling that it tipped over, and all the new ways have been able to finally be implemented on earth. And like on my personal level, after the 1221 Stargate, I was granted the permission to finally, I've been waiting for this for a year and a half, to be able to transmit the light codes, just totally transmit light codes. And it's now been open, and I can feel just the purity and joy in the sessions now, and what is happening, how much it's allowed, the streamline of it, and the lack of effort. It's like the entire universal field from all plane, all dimensions, all consciousness is totally supporting our lightness, to bring the light, to bring the goods from our higher dimensional being onto earth. And I just feel the celebration and giddiness that together, literally.
Michael said in 2018 that everything that could come up to be transformed came up, right? Morgan has been saying for months that 2018 and prior was about transformation, and 2019 is about expansion.
Yeah.
And manifestation. Yeah.
Totally.
And that to me kind of fits. Jason Estes calls 2019 the year of sovereignty, which to me fits the same thing too. But those energies that you're talking about, they seem to be more, I don't want to say cooperative, but there is a certain lightness to it. We find ourselves continuing having to step into the unknown, which makes it, a bit challenging. You want to reflect on that?
How does it feel?
We've been through a really rough few weeks. I was really sick for 9 days. And as I was coming out of being physically unwell, I went into it for 17 days. Yeah. So, the bulk of the time we've had together so far has been honouring, like, the physical imbalances, honouring the rest of the old stuff. Is, I thought this is going to be over by December, but we actually went into it even into the first week of January.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully. Well, yeah, actually, I feel like you, honey. I feel really excited about, what's possible. Yeah. I also have my human self that I flip into every now and again that's going, oh, my God, how is this going to work? Yeah. But the majority of me feels really excited about what's possible. What are we going to manifest now? How much further are we going to expand? What's possible?
Yeah. And I feel it's amazing because you two, there is something when our physical vessel is in is together in this form plane. You come together naturally, both of you being so open and expanded, and then you come together. First, all these planes have to readjust just for your flame that's come together again. And then from there, okay, so you've had your holy heavens, with that, all those flames washing and transmuting everything between you, because only purity has to remain, with you. And that was another thing with Michael. I don't know if you know, Morgan, but earlier in December, I gave Michael a serious ultimatum. I said, Michael, we can't go into 2019 until this can no longer be in you. And I know there is a fear. It must be 100% in the unknown trust that divine universal field has 100% has us back. And there's no doubt. I can't move forward if you have any doubt in you, because we are here to do such magnificent, incredible manifestation consciously into earth plane together with everyone, and this will interfere with all planes of consciousness. So it was incredible, and Michael can say what it did to me. I can't ever imagine somebody being so grateful for the ultimate ultimatum I gave him, and he couldn't have been happier what it did for him.
It was powerful. I feel the word ultimatum has the energy of its own, and when you hear that coming from your beloved, it's like you kind of get caught up here. But it brought a very powerful experience to rise beyond levels that we can possibly know, and to truly understand when that fear, that illusion is placed beyond where the heart can fully emerge, then all light shines. And I find that that night, which I was so honored to create a ceremony and really speak from my heart and come from that place that nothing was stopping me. No fear, no limitation, no doubt. And really what came up was just my own, as we all know, our own stuff that had nothing to do with honey, my own acceptance of my own stuff. And I find that in my lack of exception, I was lacking that within the union of what I could fully express, because as we know, we have, childhood, we have things that can hide so well.
Yeah.
They can really get under the rocks and be like, I really thought I cleared that one. I didn't think that was going to hide underneath it. And funny when you bring something up that doesn't feel like it has a big effect over you, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, not only does it affect with me, but it has effect in the entire union. So it was a blessing.
Yeah. And the service. And that was the thing. I feel like when out of love, we really speak that truth, it is the complete liberation. And there's nothing more that I love with Michael, but that held energy, major impact on our higher service. And that's what we are called. So that was the opportunity that came up. And from there, I could feel like Michael just made a leap of faith, jump into a different dimensional field. And then we never had to visit it. It's been done. And it feels so liberating.
Yeah.
It feels so, because we feel like there's nothing interfering anymore. Okay, it's full force and let's deliver this. And it's very much the together in terms of the frequency, because I'm so sensitive in that energetic field of it, and slightly it's off, we can see how it impacts. And now it feels so nice. It's like we're both riding the cosmic surf waves, Todd. That's what it really feels. It doesn't have to be ocean. We're literally together. I'm one, he's on one, we're both riding it. And a lot of incredibleness is happening to people who are around us, who are in this field with us, and everything else is just magic is blasting. And that's what I appreciate. If we just give ourselves the opportunity to be in that sovereignty of the grace of God that is already us. We don't have to create it. Just allow it, surrender. Okay, the greatness is already here, has been. Let me just allow it to lead the way,
And that gift that we got afterwards, we went into our pyramid upstairs in our healing room, and we went into meditation, and we were both given blue capes by El Mariah and the team above, because we passed the test. This was the test from the team above to see if we could get through this. And
it was so amazing, because when I said to Mike, I was like, Michael, you either leave tomorrow or you're going to I can't do this between state. You're amazing, you're incredible, but you're holding yourself back from the magnificence that God gave you to serve. and I can't. You decide. I love you, but you decide. And here we go. And so I had to exercise so much courage in that place. And I didn't realize I was passing a test.
Nor did I.
No, did Michael.
I thought I was walking the plank. I thought I was going to jump in the...
Yeah,
we went through that.
Something very, very similar.
Okay, of course. No
I
surprise.
see you guys smiling.
And from the masculine perspective, right? So I think it was 3 days ago, we lay down and connected, right? And the golden particles, the golden particles appear when we sacred sex, and we're not talking. Yeah, it can be we're talking intimacy. So we're laying down, we're connecting. The golden particles came. They came, and she'll get them, and she'll project them to Sology or project them to this or that.
Consciously. I don't actually get a choice where they go.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So she observed it, right? Yeah. So this one, they all hovered around me, right? And at the moment, they all went into me. And she didn't tell me until later. I said something to her, and she said, "Oh, just wait a couple of days, because the golden particles went into you." Yeah. I don't know what that's about. So the next morning, we both woke up, and I said, "Are you feeling?" And she's like, "Yeah." "Are you?" And I said, "Yeah." And my version of it was a giant, and I don't get fearful. I have some fears, but they don't really have a place in my life. I hit them and I go. But I got hit by this giant fear bomb. And the 4 or 5 things that are most dear to me, which would be me, Morgan and I, the relationship, Sology, these things that are the core of my essence, right? All got bombarded. Just absolutely got bombarded. I felt destroyed. I felt like I was going to die. I didn't want to be here. And yet here I am with Morgan. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? I don't understand this, how it works. Yeah. One day I'm getting golden particles shot up into me. The next day I get a giant fear bomb dropped on my head, But one thing I'll say too, we've been through a lot. Yeah. Since December the 7th. Yeah. She arrived. There's a certain acclimation period just for someone that's traveling. Yes. We were in someone's home where I was renting a room for a week. Then we went into a place that we had to ourselves, but she got sick, then I got sick. And again, all these energies are still coming. The broadcast is still coming. And then right up until yesterday, what I've noticed about where we're at, which I think is probably a reflection of the collective too, is that we haven't projected on each other. We haven't gone into the old patterns. We've talked. We've honored each other's solitude when necessary, and that's been a very big a big expansion, I think, or result of the work, or whatever you want to call it. But that's something I've noticed. We've noticed that, yeah.
But there has been what you were talking about, honey, is that stating, and for me, I felt like you, but I can also relate to Michael, because Todd seems to have more trust, more faith in the universe than I do. I was in fear. I've come from the other side of the world. I can't support myself. I'm not allowed to work here. I can't drive. I really felt my freedom was restricted. And moving every 5 or 10 days and packing a suitcase again has been quite stressful on me. But at the same time, I presented to Todd yesterday, which was almost like an ultimatum. Almost the same thing, like an ultimatum. For me, I've got stuff to do, and my stuff that I've got to do is more important than Todd. And that might sound cold in that old energy that we understand, but, I have to move forward. And if I can't move forward with him alongside of me, then I'm going to move forward alone. And it's very tricky for me because I'm actually also here to support him in delivering this platform that all these exquisite voices can actually speak. So I think I understand what you're talking about, honey.
Yeah, it is the dance of truth, because we're not doing the ultimatum not in a third dimensional way. Ultimatum in really the invitation to really live from that place of truthfulness. That's what it is, because I have had no choice but to live from that place. And for me, my own test with this was like, I knew in my heart there's a part that Michael is holding back and it's having an impact. And I had to honor that. And that morning I talked to beloved Yeshua and the team above. I said, listen, it was Mary Magdalene and Yeshua. I was like, you know how much I love him, but this is not a line. And they said, you must honor your heart. I said, I will. So from my heart, I said, Michael, I love you, but this held energy is impacting. And I'm only exclusive to the service, to the mission that I've agreed to complete this last incarnation. So I said, I'm going to let you have the whole day. You go sit with it. If it is for you, great. If it's not for you, you've got to. You have no choice, because we can't do it together. So it's, again, for you, it may, like you, Morgan, it may feel a little cold, but it's not. It's just total truthfulness, total presence. And from there, Michael heard me, because I had to surrender. And for him, it was an invitation. And it wasn't like I'm going to leave you. Not like that. Out of love, out of the love for you, can you see the love in you, the way God loves you, the way divine loves you, the way the magnificence is that I can see in you? Were you willing to give yourself that so we can do this together? And I feel that's what Michael gave himself. And I'm just happen to be the one that can benefit from him as his partner. And then those that we are a service to also benefit from this courageous, just surrendered allowing.
And it was the biggest gift, because in all of that, which was holding back was where I wasn't accepting myself.
Yeah.
Where was I not accepting myself? And of course, it had to go all the way back to childhood, all the way back to what areas was I holding back. And interesting enough, where one may seem, wow, that was a gift from the spirituality and the early risings from my family. But to me, I wasn't accepted by most of my friends. I wasn't accepted by the system. So there was a lot of pain and hurt that for some reason was so buried, but yet I wasn't accepting that within myself. And interesting enough, if I was not accepting it myself, how could I accept the fullness of Honey or anything around me? Because there was something within that, as Honey spoke, can just hide so deeply. Yeah. Can go underneath that rock, and we can use our spiritual bypass. We can use everything we've learned to feel comfortable. But when that bomb of fear hits, then all of a sudden you're like, you're in the water with no surfboard, and the waves are coming, and you're like, oh shit, okay, what's gonna happen now? And the only place I could go to was my heart. And once I went in there, it was so powerful to be in a ceremony with her and feel every ounce that I spoke through evaporated any fear, any level of limitation, because the heart just exploded in song, exploded in music, and the only thing I could do was just speak there. I said, I can't come up with a plan of how I'm going to prove my love. I'm just going to just speak as much as I can in tears and what has been brought forward. And then from that point on, that night, she's like, how do you feel? And I said, wow, I wish I could put this in a bottle and really share it to people who could feel, because it's to me, there was I could jump off a building.
It was such liberation in him. Finally, I wanted him to feel the liberation. I feel like I can't teach it. You have to directly experience it. And, and I feel we share these moments because we are in a sacred divine relationship. We do face a lot of things. And it's so important. Anything, when we're sharing frequencies like this and yours, it's so important. Everything is so transparent. Everything is so translucent. And hairline off, we know it, but we know it at such a magnitude. And when we're living with these living codes, when we're sharing our sacred sexual bodies, right? These codes are coming in, these sparks are flying everywhere. You better believe every part that is within, whether it's conscious or unconscious, whether it's in this timeline, another timeline, it's going to present itself into the now, in the present of now, because it must transmute. So only our divine blueprint is living. And I feel that's the greatest gift, that there isn't something wrong with our relationship. There's something so great and right that is giving us the opportunity to communicate through it respectfully, honorably, and because you have to stand so tall in this, and otherwise it will crumble. It can't be any BS in it at all, because it has to be sustained by that purity. The purity flame is where we access everything from. And I feel that's what Michael got to see. Wow, I've been speaking of this purity flame between us. Michael, everything you ever want, anything you need, anything your service to, is from this purity flame. And from here, everything is being granted, but your fear will block it. We can't. So then this is what happened. And we're seeing it. So I'm grateful we get to share this, because those who are listening, if they're in that place, they recognize it's a lot more work in here. It's a lot more responsibility here, because we manifest the amazing and the non-amazing so fast when we're in this vibration,
Yes, honey, but I also believe that this is happening on an individual level as well.
Yes, absolutely.
That everybody is in a split between that doubt and that absolute trust. Yes. We're lucky enough to have each other mirroring this energy, but this is also happening very much on an individual level as well. Yes. That doubt, that faith, that doubt, that faith, that doubt. And what's very interesting for me is I can relate to Michael, I can relate to where he was at, and I can also relate to where you were at, because I was the one that delivered the ultimatum to God. But he is also the one that has that absolute faith. So, I'm sitting here listening to both of you thinking, oh, my God, I've just been through that in my own journey. Yes. So, it's a very individual thing too, I think.
Absolutely.
Playing at the moment thinking, will I trust in this? Will I give up and let go of those final fears or whatever, and am I going to trust into something else? I don't think it's about the union. I think that we're lucky to have a mirror, but it's a very individual energy at the moment. I feel. I don't know. I actually don't feel like I know anything at the moment. I actually really don't feel like I know anything.
That's a great place to be.
I said to Todd today, I heard a message that I'm to come on to the show with you and Honey and Michael tomorrow. I don't want to. My human self doesn't like this. I prefer to be in the background. But when I hear that voice and I'm meant to come on, I said to her, I don't even know what I'm going to say. I don't feel like I know anything.
Yeah. I'm right here with you. I sit here and I hear this galactic energy.
It's funny because yesterday I did 5 shows yesterday. I was split. I was still dealing with these 4 or 5 things on my plate, and I stepped outside between shows. And when I started this thing 6 or 7 years ago, one of the first posts I put up, I said, hope is just the space between doubt and faith. But when I walked out yesterday, I was thinking about everything, these 4 or 5 things, these core aspects of my life. And she has a way of bringing in doubt, but not bad in a bad way, like making me question myself, and always has for 3 years. And there's a great value to that. Well, yesterday I walked outside and I thought the word doubt became my friend. I thought, oh my God, these doubts are actually, they're the gold. They're representing the fear. This doubt is what I need to get over. So it partially for me, it's the masculine stepping in to the action mode. And And that's a tricky thing in this transition because there's a 3D frequency, there's a 5D plus frequency. You're hearing this voice and you're hearing this other voice, which is the egoic voice. Yeah. Yeah, and then all the other voices, and right, and so I get mixed up, and I'm like, I'm confused. I told her, I said, I'm confused. I hear this, I do that, but then I settled down a little bit, and the amazing thing was, we have been every night since we've been here the last few days. We walk outside, really before that, and the Pleiadians are always right on top of our head, right, every night. And I told her 2 nights ago, I said the Pleiadians are coming. I went to sleep that night. She stayed up all night. They filled up the whole lot, the whole house. They talked to her all night long till like 5:30 in the morning. And then this morning, when I came out of mine, I laid down and I just hit it, and it was all colors. It was red, yellow, blue, purple. All these galactic were represented, and there's that part of it too. So it's like we're walking in 2 worlds, but I do feel like what y'all said at the top of the show, and what Morgan said about expansion, which I think is something we should talk about. What is that? I do feel like that the evidence is real, that we're being reciprocated for the work we've done and the work we do every day. But it is that moment by moment thing that makes it difficult to I guess measure and see the expansion, but I think that's a great subject. What is the year of expansion? What does that really mean? Do we just find out day by day, or what?
No, Courtney, honey, what do you think this year is going to be at you guys? What is it going to be for you?
I feel I want to share something on the same note that you mentioned. So few nights ago, Michael and I we went to bed, and I experienced 5 extraterrestrial beings. There were Andromedan beings that were in our living room, and I knew they were there. I've had a lot of experience with them, so I was just very present to it. And this was right before New Year's, and I said, okay. I stayed quiet. I said, do I need to come in the living room? And they said, oops, are you there? I think it got hung up. Did it hang up? Oh my gosh, what do we do? Hi everyone, I don't know what to do.
Sorry, just keep
We're here.
Back
Yeah,
we're here. We can still hear you.
Okay.
The Andromedans came in again.
So what was so interesting was that I said, do I need to come in? And they said, no, stay where you are. We're adjusting things. I said, okay, do your thing. That's cool. All cool. Do whatever you got to do. And it was very comfortable and all of that. And Michael has experienced one of the Andromedan high councils that's come through me middle of the night. Talk to Michael, so he knows that presence. Anyway, we went to bed, and there's been series of things taking place after that. And we're speaking of expansion, and a lot is happening over the next few years, because as the diamond field have expanded, we're experiencing these plasma rays. Plasma rays, I'm just in the middle of it right now. I've tapped into a new sort of frequency or new realm that I don't quite have all the words for, because it's so new, with this crystal dragon that appeared that's from the future. Over yesterday, I wrote a lot about it. A couple of days ago, I posted, I was like, oh my goddess, what is this crystal dragon? And it was a liquid, it was a crystal clear liquid. And apparently it had said it's come from the future, it's 9th dimension, and it's bringing this frequency to help support the plasma bodies. So a lot's happening between us within this. And in terms of expansion, what I was sharing with my clients doing the light code transmissions, we are already expanded beings, as we know. We're gathering everything from all of our timelines, all of our aspects, all of our monads, every level of consciousness and unconsciousness, from places that were interfered and non-interfered. It's like a magnetic force right in the center of our heart is pulling every part of us that's been stuck somewhere back in. So it's like a calling of the inner mothership, calling all of our parts back in, because it's been subparts, it's been left in other timelines, and now finally coming in to the proper aligned timeline of where the divine blueprint already exists. And so from there we get to live from it in this human form. We don't have to develop anything. We don't have to create anything. We're just gathering the other parts of us back here that's been sort of like floating in the universal consciousness. And that's the incredible empowerment within the expansion of this 2019 forward. Because from there, we get to be centered. We're not getting thrown around. We are delivering all the heavenly goods from our higher bodies here. And it requires us to be whole in order to bring us in. We can't be subparted the way we have been in the past. And the key of it is, as it's gone through the mental body, it's trickling through the emotional body, we're now bringing it into the physical body. That's why this deliciousness, this earth element, is the most incredible part of the celebration as this expansion takes place. That's the way that I fully capture it. And it's just the technology, I feel. I look at it, to me, it's like my ultimate technology. I love it in this plane.
And there's this excitement that we're feeling because we realize that as this expansion is happening, there's this excitement that here we are now in this golden age where we get to utilize our gifts. We get to bring forth everything to our fullest capacity. And now there's nothing holding us back. There's an ability to say, wow, how can we bring the fun, the innocence, the playfulness? Because we feel like we've, this past year has been such a clearing, cleansing transformation. Several years, yeah. Right. And that, when we look at 2012, how things have kept moving and kept moving. And now in 2019, which is bridging to 2020, there is this just giddiness that we're really calling in and really feeling what's being brought forward. And personally, I really feel this veil is so thin right now. Like there's so much around us that's ready for us to fully ignite, because as much as we're asking for their support, they're seeking our support in the whole evolution and the ascension. And because it's right there, it's fun to believe and to even imagine, there is no limitation whatsoever. There's nothing stopping us for us to be the fullest expression of our God self. Now we just have to let go, which, I'm glad you brought up the doubt, because Morgan and a lot of my clients, I would say the number one thing that I see and feel is this level of doubt, which is on the opposite side of trust. And I find doubt is the stimulation of, what's holding us back. But Todd, you said it's so great to make friends with doubt, to invite doubt to sit on your lap, to ignite doubt, because once we accept doubt, then it can't be a burden to hide within us. So I brother, blessings to really bring that in, because when we try to fight doubt, when we try to push it away, what we resist will keep persisting. So it's so...
They have to be honored. Again, all of these subparts of us, wherever they are, they're being called back home. There's a homecoming. We know this. There's a homecoming. You're coming back to that ultimate union within. That sacred holy marriage is happening here. Then it might be on the expression of it outside, but this is the ultimate one. So as this is coming in, all those parts are part of it. They want to be heard. So this energy of doubt wants to finally have a voice. The energy of anger, the energy of hopelessness, the energy of fear, all of them. I told my client, I was like, put chairs in your room. You sit here, you're the high council, and put all of them on a chair and have a discussion. Let doubt say whatever it wants. Let fear say whatever it wants. You just get to hear it. The minute you hear it, it's finally finished, because it's love. You brought love to it, and it's transmuted, it's transcended, it's transformed. And that's why it's that emotional body that is being finally heard in its fullness. And then the frequency is able to be brought into the physical body, so that the expansion is now brought from that ocean that we are in, that droplet of the little rain, in perfect quantum reality. Like there is no more like feeling like, for example, if the droplet of rain no longer feels, well, I'm so little, it knows it's exactly that ocean in form, and it does its job with gratitude, with grace, and no doubt in that place. You see, so that's how I feel the expansion is, and it is a calling of all of us, and each time we're allowing it, we're creating that within the field of possibilities for other ones to also come into by being the living example of it.
Yeah. We had we ended the day yesterday with Monique Hendry from South Australia, and I asked her. She's very close with Morgan. I'm pretty close to her now, but they've spent a lot of time together working on themselves and helping each other, and so they speak the same language. And I asked Morgan for 2 years, what does it mean to embody? She'd always say, you got to embody it or it doesn't mean nothing, And so I asked Monique that. And, a lot of people will say, not that there's anything wrong with it, but they'll say, oh, I've got to embody my galactic this and that essence and that. And she said all of the pieces she left out there in her human experience. And the reason I brought that up is because of what you said about when Morgan asked you that question, you brought it back to the physical. And, I spent a lot of time disassociating myself with the human aspect of TODD. And Morgan helped me with that. And I really feel that is the most important aspect, and pulling on all those aspects like you're talking about, like Michael talked about, going back to the childhood. That is the ultimate part of it. Ultimate / ultimatum. You can't do it without the human.
Get in the temple or get out the temple.
Yeah.
What a word.
Let me just say, I want to just say hello. I want to say hello to Sandra Harmon Smith in Kauai, our dear friend. And and there is an element of pull your finger out, right? Step up, and again, like Morgan said, I mean, I think that who was talking yesterday? Oh, Rick Jewers, about the masculine and how the feminine has led the way and is leading the way. And of course, we know that goes down into each one of us, and both of those are alive in each one of us, and we know about that. But my point is, it's still, although the masculine has had to spend more time pulling their finger out, the fact is that all of this is happening to each one of us on the individual level.
Yes.
And that's where the rubber meets the road. The opportunity for divine conscious union, which several people have said that we'll see more and more and more of that this year. The opportunity of that is just that. It's an opportunity. It doesn't just come, oh, I met her, I met him, and everything's going to be fine. We know it doesn't work that way on an individual journey. It doesn't work that way in a conscious union, and it doesn't work that way in an energy or an organization.
Yeah. And I feel in agreeing with that, Todd and Morgan, both regarding the ultimate sacredness. This when we go back to the physical, me like you, I've been very disassociated with the physical body for years. And Morgan, also especially those of us who've had sexual abuse, that has been a very deep disconnectedness. And I remember I had mentioned this before in one of the shows when the Antarian collective came through me when we were in South of France and told Michael why those of us that were children were sexually abused later in life, we're channelers, how easy it is for us because we learn very quickly how to disassociate, disconnect. And that's why we have access. Exactly. But you would like this, Morgan. So the Antarian being told Michael through me was saying, she learned, but when the children are sexually abused, their soul extends out of the body for that duration where the abuse is happening to their physical body, the Antarian elders form around them and support them, protect them, so that way their what did it say? Their soul is not too impacted by the trauma, because it's also part of their soul agreement. But so they said to me, they said to Michael, we're going to do some healing on her body now, because she's waited so long so she can finally clear this pain out of her, you know? And point being, when we've been disassociated, we have never learned to fully embrace the physical body, because the physical body has been more of a burden than a full celebration. And I remember 3 years ago, when December, when I was in Brazil, and the Rays of Light said, we want you to build these temples of divine on earth. So I was very focused on the 7 temples to physically create them on earth. And they began talking to me. They said, you have to help the people create their temple of the divine on earth. The physical temples are the temples of divine, in which divine is, it has to be clear so divine can house in it. So it's coming from the different planes, and that's why the mental body has been etheric. Mental body has had to be addressed. Now emotional body, finally, we've been going through a lot of that. Now finally the physical body can be celebrated, embraced, and just the love of this form for its purpose, where our divine contract is doing its work through. So we're learning how to really be in love with the being that is us, the sacredness that is us, the beautifulness that is us, that has always been, which is the heart and mind of divine in us, housing in us, that Holy Spirit, we call it, that sacred song, and embracing, really being so gentle, so kind, so loving to it, feeding it, so we can create these temples here, because there's a beautiful work through it can emanate through, which is the light, the full, we are diamonds, and it can brightly be shine without the light bending. So that's why the physical body is such an important part. And we're starting to finally remember, oh, wow, I never really appreciated this. I never treated it well. So we're beginning to clear all of that. And so then there's less interference in experience our multiple dimensional reality in form.
Yes, that's a great explanation.
When she speaks, you feel the frequency and radiance.
That's a great explanation. You know, I haven't done a radio show in a long time, but I go into this thing when the music comes, and I just start talking, and you know, and these things come to me, and it's just like everything she said. I couldn't say it like that, but I know one thing: I only get a chance to be TODD Medina one time. You know, I may be able to call on TODD Medina, that aspect, in a future incarnation when I need courage, or to find a deeper love, or to heal, or whatever. But I only have a chance to be Todd one time. That's right. I only have a chance to be her partner one time that I know of. I don't know how it works. Yeah. So I think there's a huge emphasis on the moment, and I think that's taken, for me, it takes a lot of adjustment. But I really love what you're saying about the physical. Because when Morgan's talked about embodying, you know, that has taken me 2 years and repeated question, the same question over and over, until I get a deeper meaning. But now, especially with what happened to us physically at the end of 2018, with the illnesses and so many other people like y'all that we observed it happening to, it is literally coming into the body now. Yeah. And that's that means that every cell, you know, every cell is carrying that expansion. And so, again, I don't know how it works. I don't know if we all start walking on water tomorrow, but I'm with Michael. I think it's limitless. Yeah. I believe it's limitless. And the doubt and the fear, as much as I try to kick them out of bed, I welcome them now, because it's teaching me something at a deeper level, especially the last few days.
And I really think this physical nature is also honoring our human nature. And I feel a lot of us, our human nature, who we are, Is that background? A little echo.
What?
Oh, we're just hearing a little feedback on the background. But what I was trying to express is really this honor and love for our human nature, our human beingness, and to go back to the expansion of what Morgan you spoke about. I feel there's this great opportunity for us to become more aware of this multidimensional reality that we have this ability to be. And because we've lived in such a limited perspective of who we think we are, what's so exciting now, and I see this when receiving, beautiful, powerful healing session with Honey and my own healing sessions, what I do, there's this multidimensional reality that we're really understanding beyond who we think we are is now evolving. And I really find this year, and the more time goes by, we're going to find out so many more things that are already been embedded with us. It's just now this time of finally claiming it through our own beingness in our individual journey in that self-love, self-honor, self-value. So I'm excited this year and really looking forward to it because it gives great hope and honor when Honey and I look at each other, but also when we can share this with you and with both you guys, because we see that this is not just a easy journey where we're just like, okay, we're evolving, we're awakening. There's nothing that's like, this is something we can look at and relate to.
It's not an easy journey. It's not. A lot of friends of mine say, oh my God, you're so lucky you're in this, pure romance. I'm like, there's no romance. There are little bits and pieces every now and again, but you put weeds on my pillow one day. That was a little bit romantic. The divine conscious union to me is not anything like and I'm 51, almost 52. It's not like anything I've ever experienced, but it's so raw and so authentic and so real and so, it's like talking to yourself.
Yeah, exactly, Morgan.
Thank you.
Oh my God, it's like, oh my God, you're being an arsehole. And then if I say that out loud, which I don't do it very often anymore, immediately I have to go out to, where am I being an arsehole?
Yeah. Totally.
It is the loudest mirror that I've ever experienced in my life. Yeah. It really is, either of who I've been or who I still am.
Yeah.
And when it comes up with who I've been, then it's so easy to step into observer. But if I get triggered, then I know, okay, this is a pattern. This is something still in me. This is some still wounded child ego aspect still operating within the ego, which is actually meant to be a brilliant translator. He is.
Yeah. I really love.
Yeah, here we go. He is a picture of where my divine masculine is at. And so anything that I judge in him is the hidden divine masculine energy in me that I haven't actually addressed just yet.
Exactly.
And, any time that I'm thinking you're not doing this or you're not doing that, it's my own masculine energy that's not doing this or that yet. So, this is such a gift for me. And that ultimatum energy, I delivered all that to him yesterday, and then I walked away, I've gone, but what am I not doing for me? And I came to, I am not having a relationship with this energy anymore, not with myself or any other. And everything cleared.
Yeah.
It's been difficult for me being here because I don't have all my exquisite friends around me, that have been so amazing. I don't have my own car where I can hop in the car and go for a drive. I don't even have access to my telephone. Like, I've been feeling so trapped and restricted and small and limited, and at the same time trying to support what Todd is doing, which is also my dream. So I don't know. I delivered an ultimatum to him and then needed to go away and look at myself and say, oh, hang on. He's not doing that to me. The environment's not doing it to me. The dream is not doing it to me. What pattern do I still have?
Yeah. It's just so perfect because we're always positioned exactly in the right environment. And like right now, as the universal fields it's like cornered you with no car, no friends, no this. So you have no choice but to see the God in you. And like when we're in this presence, like when we see each other, that mirror to me is a higher mirror, is the God mirror that I'm looking at, that I refuse to accept, refuse to see within myself, and it gives me that space of to be seen, because I'm coming to that place of presence. We talked about it last week. I said, Michael, do you know what the word present really means? This present? Yeah. And he's like, Michael's like, I said,
Sorry.
being in the now, it's called the present because it's a gift. Well, why it's a gift? Because it's present. It's present. Everything that already exists has happened, will happen. Then the before, now, everything in that oneness has already been placed in this beautiful box gift, and it's been sent. And when we open ourselves, when we bring ourselves in the presence of this now, we suddenly have all these gifts around us that await for us to just like open to, so that we can see, and that's why they call it a present. It's a presence. The presence is the present because it's been presence, and that's the gift.
And also the gift and the presence is being 100% aware of yourself.
Yes.
No reflection. My presence yesterday was, oh my God, I've got no freedom. I can't contact my friends. I can't do this. I can't do that. Presence is choosing you.
Yes.
Even over our divine conscious union partners is choosing self and encourage them to do the same. I think I said to Todd last week, when you're thinking about what I want, everything goes skew. If you're not thinking about that and you're just doing what's right for you, then everything flows.
Exactly. And I feel when we talk about sovereignty, as we began, Todd and Morgan, what is being a sovereign being? It's the highest level of love, but not this little self-love, the capital self-love, the I am love, because it's bowing to that respectful presence. Because when we treat truly ourselves in that place, we show up in that place, we are able to fully treat the other one in that place. So, we don't give, like, to me, it's like, here is this, it becomes an invitation. It doesn't become a judgment. It's from the highest level of love. It's presented as an invitation. And I feel the compassion, the Christ-led love behind it is so expanded. It's so generous. It gives the opportunity, and it is the sacred divine feminine. It is the ultimate mother energy. It is the ultimate creation energy that we are allowing to merge within us so that our own union becomes whole. Yeah.
And what I love about that is that's where we have to place ourselves first without feeling selfish, because the most important thing in my life is me. The most important thing in my life is Honey. The most important thing in Morgan's life is Morgan. The most important thing in Todd's life is Todd. And we're washing away those old
energy,
programs and patterns that we put everything else in front of us. And then we have to stop and say, well, how do I empower myself? I have to wake up and place myself first. But to also express that to our loved ones without feeling this, wait a minute, what are you saying? Because we all have to look after ourselves. So it's important that you do feel that freedom, Morgan. And you are going through what I find is the biggest car wash in Kauai, because you've detached yourself from all of the pieces that have literally, these are like your connectors. And now it's going directly within and saying, wow, now I'm with my divine person, but I also have to go within my divine self and place that into importance. So thank you for sharing. Yeah. We all can relate to that.
And the goddess Pele energy, she doesn't mess around there, sister.
I'm a bit like you like that, honey. I just
she's on you too. She brings that fire. We better wash this from underneath all that blue energy. It's no joke over there.
I don't know, I'm fire. So I think she's more like water. So it's like, shh, it's gone. But then the steam comes out.
That's right.
That's the beauty. But I was going to say, sovereignty has always been very important to me. And I was just thinking about it because I've gone through many sovereignty exercises, over my life. And to me, it's just simply you're not allowing anything to be put above you. You're not allowing anything to have power over you. And sometimes, as we've all learned, especially in relationships, we've given power up. Not because somebody necessarily was intimidating or overly forceful, but just out of what we thought love was. So I think that's important. For me, that's important. Not to allow anything to be above you, which is it's not a narcissistic or selfish thing. It's simply recognizing the goddess that you are. To me, that's the way I see it. And it's for me, it's a very quick way to ground in a situation where there's an imbalance.
How down to you? Watching another become weak because of their love for you actually puts you off. You don't feel a powerful connection to them. That is, watching somebody else become weak because of their love for you is actually a turn off, to put it basically. If he and he doesn't do it often, but if he's like becomes smaller than me, I don't feel a connection with him, and I would assume vice versa. So this is our new way. But I think I said to you last week, "Are you frightened of your power?"
Mm-hmm.
And you said, "Hell no," as a Texan would say. But then the next day it's like, maybe I am frightened of my own power.
I feel it's the responsibility, Morgan and Todd, as we are becoming more aware of our sovereignness. We take step back. We're like, holy heavens, I have no choice but to be very responsible with this, because there's that full realization in its recognition that I am connected to the allness and the oneness. So as a result of it, if I'm irresponsible with this sacred frequency, I am creating harm. And I didn't come here to create harm. I came to create harmony, extend the love. So, and I feel when we taste that love in the sovereignness, we no longer can backstab it, sabotage it, hurt it, because we can only rise and to stand in the same platform with it. It is the ultimate surrender, stillness. And there's only grace that is then gifted, literally placed in our hands, and I feel in our hearts. And when we give, we're giving because we are blessed, and we don't, and there's no energy retracted, like we were talking about, Morgan. When that energy comes from that limited love, it's such a turn off, because that's not what that is, because the energy is so retracted. It's like, stand up, get that, expand that balloon. Come on now. Like, what the
But
earth is that?
if it comes as the energy of force, which is performance, I've got to do this and this and this and this. It's that same vibration. If it's not real and authentic, you can feel it instantaneously.
Feel it right away. Yeah, and totally.
And that's the old paradigm, Morgan. The old paradigm is where the masculine energy wants to fix it, it wants to prove it, and half the time it loses itself in that. And that's where I ask myself, am I losing myself into something that is coming from a falser version of what I am? So I'm glad that you guys, we brought that up, because really that doesn't work anymore. And obviously
no, it doesn't. And I can feel instantaneously, if Todd comes at me with an old masculine performance, it's like,
because you're or vice versa. I'm sure it retracts the second we go through it, I'm like, whoa, Michael, it's off. Like, it's off right away.
She's so good at it.
And
she's
right away,
so
wait a minute, and then we speak it, because we get to catch it. We're supporting each other.
I mean, this divine union, it's like, nothing can be held in. It's like the smallest little thing that comes up, and
it's held because we're in the presence of the ultimate witness. Everything, the entire universal field of consciousness, all consciousness is present within us, being the observer. And so it's like there is no
BS.
bullshit whatsoever. It
No
can't
BS.
exist.
No bullshit.
Well, I know, but you can feel the BS instantaneously the minute it comes at you, whether it's from me or from him or wherever it comes from. If I go into performance or I've got to act this way or whatever, I can feel it myself. I'm sure he can feel it. I can definitely feel it. If he comes, you know, from any of that old 3D paradigm to me, it's like, and it's a bit tricky because, you know, he's coming still from the heart, from pure love. But I can't accept the old 3D paradigm energy coming at me because it's not the real authentic him. You know, one of my favourite questions, and I used to do it all the time, I haven't done it for ages, is what did I do to prevent my greatness today? You know, what did I do today that actually limited or prevented my own greatness?
Yes,
Another,
Todd, you were saying.
I think another great, it took a while to get here, but, you know, I think another great aspect of being in a divine conscious union is, you know, obviously everybody has the masculine and feminine. Obviously everybody understands how that was imbalanced in the collective. Now we each come into a particular physical incarnation, gender. And we have certain characteristics that are more impacted by what gender we are typically. So, but we also know that everything we do on an individual basis is transferring and transmuting for the collective as well. So it's a big eye opener because people do over-identify themselves with their gender, I believe sometimes in a point of separation, although it's necessary and it's important. What I'm trying to say is the more masculine energies in these relationships that surrender to the goddess frequency, the mother goddess frequency, the divine feminine frequency that's been suppressed collectively and within themselves as a masculine. You know, just like Honey said earlier, that's the mother goddess energy in that person leading the way. So we have to, it behooves us to take that responsibility and own that. And that has been, on a personal level, that has been a journey, and I'm sure Michael understands that. But I also realize now, you talked about being over the hill, I can also see that's occurred just from the less projection I've had, you know, from the less 3D I've had, from the less fallbacks I've had, and I can see the light. I can see where the nurturing aspect, the power of the mother goddess inside of me is actually growing, and I'm owning it, you know, and that's been available to me through this relationship. So it's a very tricky path, this 3D, 5D thing. But I think what I'm trying to say is that we can own that. When we own that and we put it and we embody it and we put it into action, that intention of the heart will not be denied, and it affects the collective and heals, transforms, transmutes. And so that's been a big deal for me as a masculine.
Well said, Todd. Well said.
Incredibly said. And I feel within that, Todd, is that space where it is recognized there is no 3D, there is no 5D. There's one consciousness that is being given the opportunity to live from its true state. So we're starting to not have these paths anymore. There's no path of spirituality. We are spirit. There's none of these things. It's all of those like labels are falling apart, where just the trueness of it, which is, you know, no words can fully capture it other than the beingness of it. So we get to, because we're going that way, once we are out of, you know, we get to just be blessed enough to practice this in this reality, because we are already it's in the other realities that way. So it's so beautiful that we get to bring this part of us here and make it possible. And I feel it is through that, when we brought it to our physical, we brought it into our heart. We are in the golden present. We call this the golden era, right? What is that? It's the golden present, the golden moment in the nowness, which is the beingness. And every awakened moment we get to be, because we can feel the second the frequency changes, we pick that up. All of our refinement are so much as the governing observers, right? So they get to communicate to us instantly. We're finally learning how to operate the magnificence of this miraculous machinery that we have taken for granted. We never knew how incredible this sacred holy temple is. Finally, it's like, wow, and we don't need science to tell us. We're starting to experience the juiciness of this, that like, wow, like this is freaking amazing. And that's what excites me. That's what I get happy about, because I feel like if I've tapped into that, it's like, wow, within the collective, they're tapping into it. And that's what this plasma ray is. As the other ones are clearing, they're going to start tapping into this, like, wow. So we all get to experience the same magnificence, the same ecstasy, the same joy. And from that, everything is effortless, is in flow. It's joyful because it's light now. There's no more heaviness in there.
Yeah.
And we get to have fun. I mean, isn't part of life having fun? I mean, we there's journey goes, and sometimes all this stuff comes up, but at the end of the day, we have to have fun. We have to enjoy. We have to be playfulness and know that
we don't crave. We just are it. So it's not this effort. I have to go have fun.
Not have to, but
it
like
becomes
enjoy.
The being is naturally just is, right?
I want to have fun.
There's masculine and feminine in all of us.
Yes.
Yes, there is. And but so many of us striving towards a oneness and being one with your feminine and masculine. But until we actually honour the individual that we actually came here to choose to be, I came here in a feminine body. I chose to be feminine.
Yes.
That, for me, that needs to be honoured first. Yes. And honoured to such a point where then I can move into the oneness and I can accept my masculine. And that's not taking away from the beings that came to this planet in a masculine body and chose to be feminine. It's honour what is there in your own oneness first, honour the individuality to its absolute completeness, and then we can move into oneness. God spoke to me for years, said, we're one, we're twins or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, my individuality is foremost. And I couldn't move into, and I don't like titles or labels. I've never associated with twin or anything like that, but until I get my own oneness, I don't feel like I can align with the oneness of everything and everyone else. I know that I am also masculine, and I slip into the masculine every now and again, consciously. Majority of the time, consciously.
You get smacked.
But foremost, no, you don't. I never smacked you, but I will in a minute. Foremost, I'm going to honour this being that I chose to be in this time and honour every single part of her, and then I'll be ready to move into the one.
Which is
that's what I was saying about the masculine journey, and this. So I had to recognize as a masculine, I had to own that part of me with all its, all the BS and all the potential. And then also realize what effect that has on the collective. So it's, we spend so much time looking at the BS, it's like you said, we're over the hill. It takes a little getting used to. Mm-hmm. It takes a little getting used to magic and alchemy and alignment and this incredible universal reciprocation and this unknown where you walk in through this fear and then all of a sudden you're holding a pot of gold. But it's like, it's like, how do you sustain that? And I guess we just got to keep moving with it. But no, I agree with what she's saying. I absolutely go back to the same thing. I'll only be Todd one time. Todd's a man. Todd's a man. And let's not waste any more time. I'm ready to roll. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I totally
so you guys are doing tea on
Yeah,
YouTube.
so we have our Friday Tea Time Ascension talk. So we did this talk because we feel like we're part of the ascension together, and we go every week, go through things ourselves, and I feel it's been very important for Michael and I to the deep connection, for people to know we're not here, we're not like, yes, we're leaders in ascension, but we're also very much we're very much with the people. We're of the people, with the people. There's no separation in that. So good, bad, ugly, we're gonna share it. There's no, we're very, very open. We open our home. So we have once a month free event here, like our Sunday church. And for us, it's very important to constantly give back to the community, because we know this energy has to flow constantly. Divine has blessed us, and it has to constantly be given back. So the flow is continuous. So Friday tea time gave an opportunity, because I love tea. It's really honoring my grandmother that I would go to when I had problems. She would have a tea brew, and she would say, "Come, put your feet up, have a tea." And just that moment of tea, you would break middle of the day, and you get to just share. There's nowhere to go. It's not planned. We just get to share what's happening with us, with them, so people feel the support. They're not alone. I feel this is so important, to feel you're heard. You're not alone. Like, we're just like you. We go through our own shit, but we're communicating, and we only share what we have learned. And let's just share some tea together. And 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 that's self-love, middle of the day.
Yeah.
Very important.
It's pretty raw. I mean, like, at first it seemed like, just the other day I told her, like, do you want to have a format, maybe like a topic? She's like, no, we're going to make this as raw as possible.
Yeah.
We're going to come on in. I'm just like, raw? It's open? He's like, no, everything's going to go on. I'm like,
Raw.
okay. And so
That's beautiful.
funny enough,
That's
the mind went through it, and then we had one of our most wonderful conversations on Friday. So it gives the opportunity to share, and for also people to feel that, what they're going through, what we're going through, it can be an open venue to bring forth that we're really here to support all.
Yeah,
we're here to be
and
here
we're
in the
together,
highest.
and for people to we're together with you. There's no difference. We're all
Yeah.
in it together, and we're also experiencing, when we have, I don't know, Todd and Morgan, if you've had this, when we have had a couple of, let's say we call them intruders that come in, and the nastiest possible thing they can say right on live, and like just horrible things, and
trolls.
but to also be a witness to that, how incredible. Here we are, we're sharing this love. Let's say an angel prayer is being said, or like a decree is being shared, and here we are, somebody coming in like throwing like the nastiest stuff. That's it. But then to also be a witness, like, wow, it didn't affect us. How amazing, we can just block it, but send love, whatever. But that's also been very interesting. When you put yourself in that place, you get to see the ugliness also revealed. For a month to Brazil, South America, where we have some work down there before we come back. And best way to connect with us is that way. And also once a month, we have our Sacred Sunday spiritual service. That was another one, Morgan and Todd. It was so important for us to open our home. Right here, we put chairs. It's like our Sunday church, but it's all about the message of divine and that collective energy. We have a guest speaker each month. They share, we share, and people just get to receive. And again, it's free, to help, to share what it's like when we give from abundance. We really give because we can. We give because we are the one who bless it, and we need nothing in return. Thank you for this gift that we can give. And then we ask people to take that blessing, go give it out. So there's this rippling effect of taking these and passing it on, moving it forward. So we do that once a month, and that's also available on the YouTube live stream. So that's our extension, some of our extension of this, and it just feels so amazing. And it ties into our higher vision, which we created, the vision that's been given and we know this is going to happen, where will be a place, a land will be given to us, and it's exactly what we can facilitate. All of our service, all of our teaching, everything is completely free. You come, you stay, you pay nothing, because the whole thing is taken care of. And we couldn't be more honored to serve what we know we can and just take care, because we've already taken care of. So we know that's coming our way. And we did our vision with the rest of the group that way. So we know the abundance is in the universe. And for us, we feel like there's a door that's open. We're going to continue to give. And that makes us feel amazing.
Yeah. It's not coming. It's already here.
It is here. It is here. But it's coming. It's coming
it's
into
here.
our reality of this time and space now. It's moving through the planes, and that's what. And the more we are in this place of love and celebration and joy, and really the joy of it, we bring a witness to it, which feels amazing.
Excellent. I want to say hello to Joanne Haley, Morgan's dear friend, who's over in England now. Is he in England? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And everyone, so you know, that's YouTube Honeybee, and then Honey Borden teacher, author, speaker.
It's
on the top. It's on the top. It's in the post. I went back and put it in the post where you can find Michael and Honey. And I got to tell you, Michael, this morning I had a sister call me, Shakina Rhodes. Who we're tight like we are with y'all, and she told me that Archangel Michael jumped into her communion this morning, and it happened to me too. And I told her, hey, that happened to me this morning. Which hasn't happened in a while, and now I realize why. Because you were coming on.
Wow.
I know you work close. I know you work closely with that essence in the healing that you do.
Yeah.
We love collaborating with you. We both look forward to future collaborations. Thank you for entering the etheric space of Morgan's head, one or both of you, and getting her on the screen. But we look forward to. I have a feeling we'll be doing more and more collaborations, and this is not, like you said, 3D or 5D. It's just it is what it is. Everything's there. There's no linear, and it's all merging together. So it's an honor to have you guys on. I look forward to the day the four of us can be in the physical presence, and I know that day's coming.
Very soon.
And if there's anything we can do, anytime you do the monthly show or even the Friday show, I get really busy. Feel free to send, probably better off sending Morgan a note, and I'll put it out throughout the network and see if we can get some more people over there.
Thank you so much. We're honored to collaborate and assist. And for both of you, if you ever feel called, I'll send you the video with the light code transmission activation. Please watch it. If you feel called, I am honored to facilitate that for you. I can do it simultaneously for both of you. So you receive it, because I feel it will help support your light body in the divine blueprint time of now, moving you away from that timeline to this timeline in this now. And if I can be of support with that, I would be so honored. I just need your Skype and 1 hour you two lay down, and then that's it. I'll be honored.
I like laying down with her.
But let me share with you. So, like, for example, one of the things that happened at the end, I either get a code that's specifically for you. Let's say, Todd, I'm having this session for you. At the very end of it, what happens is the 12 chakras are completely cleared from every timeline, every dimensional field of consciousness. And then there's a transmission of pure light codes that I bring in. And then you're connected to the diamond heart of the divine, as well as Mother Earth and all consciousness. From there, at the end, you either get a key or a code, a sigil or a symbol that's exclusive to your soul. And from there, as you draw it, like Michael experienced it, you get to experience that vibration reality with you, but you get to viscerally experience it. Like, for example, this was the, I'll show you, this was the code that Michael got. And this is, so when I receive it, it's coming in, I get to draw it and show Michael how to draw it this is exclusively for him. And he can tell you what happened after.
It's basically, you see the sigil, and then
it's the code.
The code. I'm eternal, but it's beautiful to receive the light language that then can be utilized in morning meditation, morning prayer, that then opens up a whole other dimension, a whole other world that has been lifting in many, many, many ways.
Yeah, because he felt so clear, so lifted. He's like, oh my God, like, he's like, honey, this is nothing like I've ever experienced. And that was an honor for me for him to say that. But like, for example, here's another one. This was a sigil the person received today. And these are in movement. They're in movement. They're between 5th to 9th dimensional frequency. Here's another one that came out, but this one is a key. No, this one is a code. This one is a key that opens up to further. So the way they come in, I show them how I receive it and the movement that it is in around them, and they move into that consciousness. So I'm honored if it calls to you. I'll be so honored to support you in this. Just ring me, and I'll send the video to you so you'll see what that is. I have waited 1.5 years by Ascension team. I had not done any personal private healing session because everything was focused on the channeling with the masters. Till finally, after 12/21, they gave me this after the Stargate. They said you can do it now. So because the field now supports the plasma rays. So I'll send you the video. But just I wanted to put that out there, and I'm going to be collecting all of these. That there's a big collection of what's happening with this, so they get to be expanded into our Earth beautiful reality. I love that.
Send it over. Send it over. Yeah.
And thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. I know
on
the video, like, to put the 4 square, the 2 divine unions together. It's really nice to have you on the show with Todd. Todd, thank you for just the collaboration with us. It's a gift that we all get to share this time together, no matter how strange or weird it feels. Morgan, thank you for your intuition of saying, I got the call, I'm feeling the voice, come on up, because just our presence together.
20 odd hours.
Yeah.
One of you, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I heard yesterday you have to go on with Honey and Michael, and I try to fight it, and
And how was it? How was it?
It was fine. It's actually not my thing. It's not my thing, but it was lovely. It was really lovely talking to both of you.
Thank you, Morgan. It's always beautiful to speak to Todd. So to see his second half and see the other part of us combining our energies is really a gift for us.
Yeah.
And just thank you, Todd, for the energy you place and for supporting. Thank you.
But I personally loved seeing you on the screen, and I just loved it. Brought a lot of, again, giggles for me. So thank you so much, Morgan. Thank you so much, both of you.
You guys take care. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
And be sure and put your links in the comment section. And we'll see you guys in another 2 or 3 hours. We got 3 more shows.
All right.
Oh, wow. Lots of love.
Take care,
Lots
guys.
of love. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Aloha.
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 Mahalo. Oh, look at that.